Hello, this is Teresa, and welcome to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. And today is going to be probably a politically incorrect craft chat. So, as the title states, current events are taking the joy out of my crafting time. So, specifically, it's been a lot of things, but welcome to my channel.
Sorry,
Thanks for tuning in. There we go. Okay, I just like to check my technology and make sure that it's working. The lag time seems to be really good right now. So by the way, this is live, and you're welcome to chat in the chat section of this video, of this live video, and share your opinions. So I may get some likes and dislikes during this chat. So like I said, or was starting to say, I think it was on a Sunday, I stumbled upon all the YouTube videos about the fires in Hawaii and the amount of people that perished and the amount of destruction that the fires caused. And it was very sad, and I had planned to do a live video and craft online, but there was just no joy to do that. I felt guilty to have what I have and to have the opportunity to have a fun day when so many people were grieving and suffering and scared and traumatized. And later on, at that time, to my shame, I didn't think about the children and just people in general that were scared and suffering. And so it just took the joy out of my idea to sit down and craft and have fun. So days went on, and I've done 1 or 2 videos since then, but instead of watching craft junk journaling YouTube videos, I've mostly been watching world event videos later. Now, I will preface this conversation with the fact that I am a 62-year-old white woman living in Idaho in the United States of America. And so with my own business, but I've had my trials and tribulations. First thing, I'm a woman, and sometimes that can cause problems, which it has in the past with being married to men that were controlling and had anger control problems. Now I have a wonderful husband who is about as perfect can be. What is that song? Close enough to perfect for me. So anyways, but what is it? Trials and tribulations come to all of us, no matter what gender we are, what color we are, what religion we are, what political stance we have, and that sort of thing. We're all God's people. And then that's the next thing. I don't come on here and say, oh, I'm a Christian, and I'll pray for you. I'm not the type of person who says, oh, hugs, or, love you, and things like that. That's something that I do for my family. And so anyways, that's just the way I am. That's my personality. That's my character. But I sincerely do care about people. I care about unborn children, and I care about children in general. So went to see that movie, oh boy, here's the age thing. What is the movie? Sound of Freedom, which talks about child trafficking and children being raped. And so, most people, I watch craft videos and I'm like, nobody ever talks about current events. Now, there was a time when one YouTuber was going through some problems, And of course, you know, everybody talks about COVID right and left and spreads their ideas and theories on that. But I wasn't one of those. I was the one who wasn't wearing the mask. And if I was sick, I did stay home, just like I always have. And I don't go coughing on people and that sort of thing. And I've had COVID twice and survived it twice as a 60-year-old woman. And my husband is diabetic and has heart disease. And we're both overweight. And he's had COVID twice and he's survived it without any hospital stay or anything like that. So, yeah, I did go in to get a steroid to help with the cough because, you know, none of us like to constantly hack our brains out. And through my life, I've had several instances of having a bad cough where I hacked my brains out. But always rallied and always figured it out. Now, at some point, you know, as a Christian, I know that there's an appointed time to die. And that will happen at some point. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe next year, maybe next decade. I have no idea when that time is. But God has it scheduled, and that's okay because it's His will. So like I said, I don't usually talk like this, but sometimes you have to have some background information to understand where people are coming from. Some people may not like this conversation. Maybe they don't like God, so they don't want to hear about God. That's okay. This isn't the channel for you. Some people may not be as conservative as I am and don't like the tone of my conversation. That's okay. This isn't the channel for you then. And I'm not here to give lip service to anybody. So today I'm looking at my Prompt Words Challenge journal, and I thought I would go through it and work on it a little bit. So initially it was a fun challenge. It was something to do and follow, and kind of like, you know, Junk Journal July, which we just did, but it was something that was prompted by a gal in a Facebook group. And I'm actually not going to mention any Facebook people today, not Facebook or YouTube creators, because I am getting real verbal about my thoughts and ideas. And, you know, just out of respect, maybe they don't like God, maybe they don't like conservative views, and maybe they don't want their name associated with that. Now, if they were to reach out to me later on and say, oh yeah, you could have put my link up and everything else, then, you know, I might change my mind next time. It's my channel. I can do whatever I want, basically, as long as it's legal and moral and that sort of thing. So, did this, and the idea was to take the ideas and put them on a 3x4 inch piece of paper, which I did. Like this one is hinged in here. And this is good. This could be used like it is, because now that this challenge is done, these items can be used for a journal. So like this one was to do the project on a book page. Now some of these, most of these actually, I think I did have them mounted on a 3x4 sheet of paper. Maybe not this one because this is too big, but maybe at that point I realized I just needed some pockets to put this stuff in. And that was good because now this is ready. Look at this. This is ready to be backed and to be used as a journal card. So I don't know that I'm going to want to keep this on here. In fact, I'm not. You know, and so that leaves just a little bit of mess right there. So in that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out my labels, and I'm going to put a label on here. And I'm going to see if I can talk and craft at the same time. So, yeah, I've been watching videos on child slavery, and as a result of that, I have coined some words that speak to me. I haven't heard anybody else say it, but as I walked out of the theater, it occurred to me that slavery knows no color. There's more to that. It doesn't know a gender. It doesn't know an age. It doesn't know an ethnicity. Ooh, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to say that word. But it definitely knows no color. And I think that's important to recognize and acknowledge in the world today, because there's all of us religious zealots or conservative political zealots can get a little carried away, as can anybody else, liberals, atheists, whatever. We're all people, and we can all get carried away with the way we express ourselves. Now, you won't catch me burning down any buildings. You won't catch me shooting an abortionist. You won't catch me with some of the other nasty things people have done in the name of God, or in the name of a supposed righteous cause. Yeah, you won't catch me doing those things. You will catch me opening my mouth on occasion, and lately it's just been kind of eating away at me. I like that. So, you know, part of me is like, oh my gosh, I wish we could just pack up. Is there a way to take a RV to Hawaii? And I mean, I couldn't house anybody. I don't have much room here. I could take my work there, you know, as long as there's internet. But, you know, I'm 62 years old. I don't have the strength that I used to have. And, I mean, I'm not afraid of people. I'm not afraid to say what I think. I'm not afraid somebody's going to hit me because I say what I think. I mean, because I was bullied when I was a kid. And I wished I would have known then what I know now. Because when a bully picked on one of my daughters, knocked her down the stairs at the high school and everything, I told the cops, I told the school, you know, this isn't the end of this. She's going to be after my daughter again. You all need to be watching her. And I was a single mom, and I had to work. So, sure enough, she came after her again the next day and beat her up solid. So, I was like, you know, you can't trust the cops. You can't trust the school system. They didn't have her back. And so I took my daughter to the doctor, got her rehabilitized, if that's a word, pressed charges, had my daughter press charges, if that was part of the process, I don't remember now. And that villain went to court, and she was prosecuted, had to pay a fine. I don't remember if she had any court time. And she had to pay restitution to my daughter. So there was justice there. And I tell my grandkids, you know, it's not right for people to bully you. They need to be prosecuted if that happens. Nobody can come up to me and hit me as an adult woman. So there's no reason why anybody should be able to come up to my 10-year-old grandson and hit him, because my special needs grandson has been bullied in school before, and there should be consequences. But that's the thing, there are no consequences right now. Very little, especially in some areas, hardly none in some areas. So for instance, I was watching a video on, and I'd heard about this in California, how bad guys can go into a store and they can pick up a television and walk out with it. I was like, first I was like, no, you can't do that. That's ridiculous. Not in the world I live in. And sure enough, it's happened to such a degree that the video that I was watching was in downtown, I want to say Los Angeles. And it was showing all the stores that had closed. The byline of the video said that all the stores have closed. Now, I think that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but maybe it was the way they said it, maybe downtown. I don't know. I don't know the geography of that area. I don't have any desire to go there. But there were a lot of stores that were closed. So anyways, I was like, okay, so, okay, I just lost my thought. That's not gonna work. I'm just using this glue paper to back this journal card so that it'll have a little bit more stability. And then I will find some other paper that is good for writing on. Okay, I started to have my idea. So okay, I have to preface this by saying that I think the American government right now is shit. Excuse my language, but that's how I feel. And even there in the White House, you know, there's all this talk about how the president's son does cocaine, and everybody just turns a blind eye. There are politicians who have been accused of crimes and maybe even, you know, legally prosecuted for it, but they don't go to jail. So there's the justice system for the higher ups is sadly lacking there too. So between that and, you know, all the talk about the rich celebrities, like we know that the famous one who maybe wasn't a celebrity, but he was involved with the celebrity crowd, had an island where he abused children. So I don't know that he ever got prosecuted. My husband told me he died. So did he ever really get prosecuted? And so now the people that have a lot of money or have some fame to them, which I'm not one who ogles over movie stars and stuff. I'm not the type who would ask for an autograph or things like that. I'm looking for what I want to use to back this with. No. Yeah, but that doesn't have a lot of writing area. So anyways, I'm like, okay. So what seems to be happening is that the bad guys, wherever they're coming from, are enlisting the small fry bad guys, the dredges of society, that are going into these stores and stealing TVs and camping out in front of people's businesses and pooping in their on their sidewalk or you know, in their landscaping area or wherever it might be. They're enlisting these dredges of society, kind of like, you know, The Walking Dead is what it reminds me of. and enlisting them to oppress the normal everyday person like you and me that are working hard to earn a living and trying to do what's right, bring our kids up to obey the law and to have basic respect for people. Now, I always told my kids, stay away from strangers, don't talk to strangers. And just because they might be your elder doesn't mean that when an elder tells you to jump off a cliff, you're going to jump off a cliff. I said, you got to use some common sense sometimes, because the bad guys look like me, is what I would say. They weren't allowed to go to the bathroom by themselves. I had 6 kids, so I couldn't always haul all the kids to the bathroom because one person had to go. So we used the buddy system. Nobody was allowed to go to the bathroom by themselves in a public place. And so then I would give them the little speech. Remember, the bad guys look like me. So that was just to make a point. You know, bad guys can be cops, they can be priests, they could be teachers, they could be anything. So use a lot of common sense and know what should and shouldn't happen. And if something makes you uncomfortable, run. So I did have that talk with my kids a lot. Be that as it may, it did not prevent some bad things to happen to some of my children. And, you know, I've always been very respectful of my kids to not talk about this stuff. But let me tell you, if you're a Christian, you will understand this. I'm going to reveal one of my secrets, and that is that I don't get along with most of my children. Some of my children keep my grandchildren away from me. And that is a total evil practice on their part. And I have told at least one of my children that. One of my children kept the Christmas presents away from my grandchildren that I sent, and does not allow me to talk to my grandchildren on the phone. So, you know, this is kind of a shameful thing for me, that I'm not allowed to have access to my grandchildren. I always wanted to be a grandma like my grandma. My grandma had lots of grandkids too, and she was awesome. She would take us downtown in Dayton, Ohio for our birthday. We'd have lunch and she'd buy us a little gift. She always put on great holiday dinners and celebrations, Easter egg hunts. She was just a fantastic grandma. And I always wanted to do that for my grandchildren, because my kids didn't have good grandparents. My kids have like a grandma that is all about what she looks like in the mirror and look at my money and stuff like that. And the grandpa was an alcoholic and just not a good guy. And so then my dad was 3,000 miles away. So he got mad at me because I moved 3,000 miles away with his granddaughter. And he let me know he was not happy with me. Now, if I had to say how I think a grandparent should act, I think that would be a good way for a grandparent to act. And then I wasn't in communication with my mom, so they never really met my mom. But, yeah, so there's that. And I told my husband today, I said, you know, it's all supernatural, and it's all just a conspiracy against people who want to live right. And even if you do or don't believe in God, you know, act right, pay your bills, take care of your family, show love to children, you know, all of those things. Those people are being oppressed, and so many things. So the reason why I'm having this chat today is because I told my husband today, I said, you know, evil's been around for a long time. We've talked about it, you know, but in the olden days, people were afraid to come out of the closet or admit that they had an abortion. Abortionists went to jail and things like that. But now people can go into stores and steal other people's property because it's not theirs until they pay for it. And they can, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this one. I might leave it on. That color's not too bad for a vintage look, so I think I will leave that, and I think I'll put some lace on there, and I'll ink up the sides and stuff like that, and that will be like, I might even turn it into a pocket. But people are allowed to run drugs because the border isn't safe. They're allowed to run kids because the border's not safe and it's way too open. And I liked what let's see, I think he was the creator of the movie Sound of Freedom. Not creator, but like maybe he directed the film or something. And he is a person of Mexican nationality. In fact, I watched a video that said he is thinking about running for president of Mexico. And like he and Donald Trump was in this interview, and the two of them were basically saying that together they could make the border safe. They could make it more secure, is what I wanted to say. And they said basically that by doing that, that ensures more safety for the Mexican people and more safety for the American people. And so it's not safe, doesn't make it safe for the drug dealers, cartel, slave runners, you know, the bad guys, and that sort of thing. But yeah, so there's that. So I was thinking about getting a piece of lace. Like I said, I have been binging on YouTube videos. In the last year, I have binged a lot on junk journaling videos. But recently, I felt led to quit being an ostrich and putting my head in the sand. The problem is that I can get too involved. I can get too obsessed with worrying about this, thinking about this, and I have to function. I am the breadwinner of our family. I'm the one who works and brings in the bulk of our ability to provide for ourselves. Sorry, I can't craft and talk at the same time. I kind of like that. Yeah, I kind of like it hanging over and everything else. So I'm going to do that. So where's my glue book? Oh, it's right here. So if I've said anything that insults you, go ahead and hit the thumbs down. And, you know, you're entitled to your opinion, just as I am, and that's what I'm doing, is I'm stating my opinion. I think I'm going to put a little Fabri-Tac on there too. But if I've said something that you agree with, please feel free to go ahead and hit the like button. And if you're brave enough, go ahead and comment on anything that I've said. I won't bully you. Somebody else may try to, but I won't. I mean, sometimes I even have to remind myself when I'm talking to my husband about the situation with the kids. My daughter, Ariana, she is very loving, and she has 3 children, and I get to see them. My son, who is saying some really bad things about me, that are a lie, his ex-significant other, he didn't marry her, oh, you silly thing, is very good to me. His ex-significant other is very good to me. She spends time with my husband and I, and so that we can see our 3-year-old granddaughter, who's just a dear. She's sweet as all get out. And these kids have been in my videos. Ruth's been in my video. Kyson's been in my video. Avery's been in one of my videos. And my son's other ex-significant, well, he was married to her, but they're divorced now. She is good and lets me see my grandson. We all went to the fair a couple weeks ago. I think I'm gonna have to give up and put some more glue in here. I don't know, you know, the weather has been so hot. Usually you can eventually get this to work, but it is not working. So let's go ahead and just use the art glitter glue. Call it good with that. So I just want to be a grandma. I just want to show my grandchildren love and help out if needed, because, you know, they have jobs and stuff, and I've told them that if you need help with childcare, let me know and I'll try to help. And also I tell them, you know, if you just need a night out, because sometimes single parents, just especially, need a little help. And so I'm there to help them too. And if I think that one of my grandkids needs something, you know, I won't say, oh, can you not afford to do this for them? No, I'll just give them some money. Even, yeah, because actually all the family members that are being respectful and loving towards me are single moms. Imagine that. What's that say about the world today? My one son, my oldest son, is even a professing pastor. I mean, I say professing because how can you be a man of God and disrespect your mom? Because I think there's some definite guidelines that the Bible sets down from the Word of God as to how you should treat your parents. So I haven't figured that one out at all. To my knowledge, he doesn't say anything bad about me, but several years ago, I would invite him over, try to get him to come over for family dinners and that sort of thing. And he would never come. He wouldn't tell. Sometimes he would say he was coming, and then he just wouldn't show up. He'd be a no-show. And he wouldn't even tell me he wasn't coming. So after a while, I just gave up, and I quit inviting him. And then when we'd run into each other every once in a while, we'd say hi, how's it going, you know, and that's about it. Didn't say a lot. And once or twice I did at that time drive over to his house, and I brought some gifts for the kids. His youngest doesn't even know me. And so my grandson was there, and he facilitated that meeting where, you know, he's like, oh, here's a gift from grandma, and that sort of thing. So, you know, it just gets to a point where you just give up and say, okay, God, this is, as usual, you're in control. You take the wheel, and please let me know if there's anything I can do to help, which I just get in the way. But yeah, so I have thought about sharing this kind of stuff because it's so depressing to watch, you know, other YouTube creators talk about their kids and their family and how great everything is. And then I'm sitting here going, yeah, I've got some grandkids that I can go see and that I had fun, but I have so many, and so many are not available to me that it's hard not to focus on that. It's like I told my husband today, he did something right, and I said, thank you for doing that. That was great. I said, every once in a while I got to remember to tell you how I appreciate what you did. That was right, instead of nag at you because you didn't take the trash out or whatever the case may be. I never nag at him for not taking the trash out, but that was just an example that I came up with. I'm trying to think where I put I moved my ephemera around. Oh, I think well, some of it is right here. This is my box for Medieval Mirage ephemera. So I need a pocket for that to go in. I could have sworn there was a lot of things in here that could be used as pockets. Well, I think I know where. It's around here somewhere. I can find something that can be used as a pocket here. Hi, Jackie. Okay, I can do it that way. So yeah, as I was saying, I finally decided that I thought it was important to talk about these things, you know, like when we have bad things happen to us, we feel a level of guilt. You know, what did I do wrong that this person is saying unkind things about me? It's like when you're an abused child or an abused wife, and you know, you're being told constantly that you're unworthy. And so as a result, sometimes that soaks in, and you start feeling some guilt and remorse for things and how you're being treated, and it's not your fault. It's the person who is acting evil, who is being unkind and unloving, and just like my sister in Texas says, ugly. That's what she says when somebody's being mean, is that they're ugly. And I always liked that. I thought it was a good way to describe it. I think I just feel like touching up this pocket over here. So that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm just kind of playing in this book. This is just like an idea book, but like I said, the way things are going, it's just kind of taken my mojo away. So this is just a way to kind of play a little bit and have a little crafting therapy. I like that. So this book is going to have things that are ready-made, so that if I were doing a journal, I could pull that out and say, okay, I'm going to use that for a journaling card, but I forgot to back it before I put the lace on it. Is it too late? I don't think so, because I only used the glue stick for the back. So let's find some straw paper or something to put on the back there. I'm actually usually pretty quiet when I'm crafting on my videos, but not today. So one thing about me too is, like, if you hear me say a curse word, which you won't hear me say that very often, not especially when I'm working and when I'm around other people that I don't know and stuff. It's just a respect thing. But I don't think people are damned and going to hell because they curse. And I don't like cursing around children and that sort of thing. I believe in boundaries, and but I believe in being real. That's what I always describe it as. My husband is a believer, and he has gone from, he's had a huge motorcycle lifestyle from a very young age, and he's done everything from ride with what I'll call outlaw motorcycle groups to being a Christian, being in a Christian motorcycle ministry. It's called CMA. And so we're both older, and we've had a lot of experiences in our life. We've made a lot of bad decisions, and we've made a lot of good decisions in our life. And that's something that goes on with time. I mean, you're never perfect. God's not finished with me yet. So his phrase that he picked up from somewhere on the internet is, what is it? Let me try and think. Arson is not climate change. So that's what he always says. And then I like the one that I said, and my new one is eyes wide shut. So we walk around with our eyes open, but we close them to the tragedies and the lawlessness and the evil that's going on in the world. And then I always like to reference the George Orwell Animal Farm. If you haven't read that book, I highly recommend that you read it. It's extremely interesting, and it's extremely thought-provoking. So that is done and ready to go to be used for a journal, should I so desire to do so. So then we have projects that were done with die cuts. This one is on a card, so it would need to be removed. And I tell you what, sometimes it is so beneficial to use your bone folder when you're trying to bring something up that has been glued down. It just kind of helps to minimize the rippage and stuff that's going to happen. So then what is this? This is just a little pouch, and it is ready to go. Back page pockets with journaling spot. So this could be glued, and then I think there was supposed to be a journaling spot inside of there. Oh no, here it is, here it is. The journaling spot is inside of here. So there's that, and that could be glued into a journal like that. Okay, so that one's good, ready to go. That was made with some of my glue pages. This one is okay. I'm going to go ahead and ink it. Actually, I should have waited till I was done with everything I was going to do, because this definitely needs reinforced right here. Okay, so this one is going to have some straw. Let's see. Do I have any more of this? Because it's, I mean, this is a good writing spot as it is. I just want to give it some character. It's getting warm back here. Okay, so I'm going to glue this on. So it just makes me wonder, you know, a lot of us that do this crafting are older. A lot of us, not all of us, but especially a lot of us that watch YouTube videos and are learning from others how to junk journal. A lot of us are older. Like I said, I'm 62, and I just started this journey about a year ago. So I haven't really been junk journaling for a long time. I just kind of like the idea of bringing that up. And I also want to make sure everything is secure. Yep, so I hope if anybody who watched this video that you understand that it's okay to share your ideas and to not worry about being bullied for believing the way that you do, unless, you know, you want to kill people or do bad stuff. But if you care about people and you have ideas about how it should be done and you want to constructively share it with others, I mean, even if you're going to a protest, you know, just having a presence and being confident and that sort of thing, I think is the right way to do it. Burning buildings, cussing people out, being angry and ugly, no, I don't think that's the right way to do it. But don't be afraid to say what's on your mind. And so the other thing that I want to put out there to you older folks is, like me, you know, what can we do? What can we really do to contribute to trying to help with the problem? I can't go to Hawaii. I don't think I can. I mean, I have always wanted to go to Hawaii until the COVID stuff and states got to the point where they thought they could regulate your health and tell you what chemicals you would put in your body and that sort of thing. And then I was like, oh, if they're going to require vaccines, then I don't need to go to Hawaii. I thought it was a great idea, but if they're going to tell me what I can and can't do with my own body, then no, I don't need it. Beautiful place. I mean, I would love to go. So I've just been waiting to see, you know, where all that would go to, how that would progress. I haven't heard anything recently as to what requirements there are for travel and that sort of thing. I have it on my bucket list to go on a cruise. I would love to go on a cruise. I've accomplished quite a few bucket list items, like skydiving, buying an RV, living in an RV. Okay, this isn't sticking. I'm going to try my other glue stick. Riding a motorcycle. I don't ride my own anymore. I ride on the back with my husband now. We have a Harley Davidson that we love. Yeah, this Pritt stick does better job for fabrics as a glue stick. It's one of the best, I think, for fabrics. And I think what I want to do now, because I'm just trying to take the new look off of this, because I'm more into the vintage look, is I'm going to take a Tim Holtz stamp. Has some floral look on it, like this butterfly. I have the fan off because it always sounds so loud in my videos. So I am roasting right now to try to have a non-annoying video. Now, of course, you don't like what I've been saying for the last hour. It's probably an extremely annoying video. Ah, yes, that's what it needed. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up. I've blathered on enough, and I think I am going to put a staple there, right where that dye is, because I'm afraid it's going to come up. And one of the things, I was watching a YouTuber use a stapler today, and one of the things that I have started doing that I think is important is I take my bone folder and I push down on the other side just to make sure that the legs of that staple are pushed down as far as possible so that I can run my finger on it and I won't hurt myself. It's your little safety tip for today. There, I like that better now. So I do need something on the top, and let's grab this color because it's real vivid. And I've never done this before, never used a sequin strip like this before on a tag. So this will be interesting. Oh no. Doesn't work real good because the sequins don't want to go through. Let's try it again. It was kind of fun to get my craft game on today. I've been watching some of the conspiracy theories videos on what's going on in Hawaii. There's that realtor. I don't remember what his name is, but he's doing like daily videos, and he's started a organization to put money together to help those people that are displaced from their homes, can't find their kids. Now I have posted in the comments in one of those videos. So far I haven't seen any videos with like interviews of parents that are saying, my kids are gone. So maybe it's because they don't know if they're gone because someone has taken them, or because they think that they've died in the fire. I don't know. But the problem with that is that I can't get all up in arms and concerned about supposed missing children if I'm not seeing any real life testimony to it. So today when I was looking, I did see a little bit that was kind of suggesting more that there are children missing for real. And I think that's a little overkill there. Well, phooey. I'm just being lazy and not going into other areas to find what I need. Oh, yeah. I have new twine. I have a lot of new twine. And I was like, when am I going to come up with a good reason to use that? It's right here. It's a good reason to use it. So that's a catch-22 situation. You know, you need testimony from parents about what's going on with their kids, but maybe they don't want to talk about it because they're heartbroken that their kids are missing. But, you know, I don't know. In one of the videos, that realtor guy said, I think it was one he did yesterday, he said, so So you all come out here and book a room at Travel Stays or whatever the name of the place was, and blah blah blah, and help us out. And then he was like, even if you don't have any money, let us know or something. We'll bring you out here. We'll pay for your stay or something like that. And I'm like, well, what about the plane trip? There's a lot of whatabouts. So I was considering Googling how you could get an RV from the mainland out to Hawaii, but I didn't. I think my husband would go, huh? If I said, hey, guess what? Yeah, I'm not sure what he would think about that. Oh, I got another idea. So he got me a new quill pen, and I'm loving it. It will dry out if I leave the cap undone, if I leave the cap off, but like I did recently, and it did dry out, and then I put the cap back on and just now took it off since it was dried out, and look, it's flowing wonderfully. It's what I love about this pen, is that it's not like the others where it's difficult to get them to flow if you let it dry out from leaving the lid off. I've always liked to outline things. When I was a kid and I enjoyed coloring, I still like to color, by the way. I was one of those who would color the picture and then use a black crayon to outline the picture. Have you ever done that when you were a kid? Actually, I think my aunt taught me that. And she was actually the same age as me. My grandma and my mother were pregnant at the same time, so we only had like about 6 months. She was about 6 months older than me. So before I end this video too, I wanted to remind you that I have a Facebook group called Junk Journaling United, and I would love for you to join that group and participate and share your projects. I did it because I wanted to have a place where folks like you and me would have a comfortable place to share our projects that like, you know, say you like Julie from Camilla Crafts stuff. Well, she doesn't do, yeah, she does do digitals. And Roxy Creations, her digitals. And I said I wasn't going to mention other people during this video, but I goofed. So anyways, you like digitals from other people and you want to craft. So, you know, this is from somebody, and this is Stampin' Up stuff, and this is somebody's digitals. Actually, I think these are all the same person's digitals. I have my Medieval Mirage stuff that I showed just a minute ago, which is already gone somewhere. This is Tim Holt stamps and stuff. I don't know. Whatever. If you like to create with other people's stuff, but you belong to a Facebook group that wants you to only share their digitals, well, that's fine and understandable. But my Facebook group, Junk Journaling United, allows you to share all of your projects and to say, I did this and I found it here, and you know, I mean, I don't like Temu and the other one, AliExpress. But if you came onto my group and you said, I bought this from AliExpress, I wouldn't bully you or chastise you for going there. I did just go there. You know, somebody was saying, I don't know if Temu is as bad as AliExpress as far as um, stealing people's copyright, or however you say that. But I had Googled about charming sentiments dyes, because I had somebody who was interested. Was it that or something else? I think it was something else actually. So I was Googling to try and figure out, oh, it was the bird one. Aspen trees is what the dyes were. And I was trying to find what the name of the dyes were. And so I kept pulling up AliExpress and Temu, and I was looking at them, and man, they were exact replica of the Stampin' Up version. So I was like, oh, okay, this is what people are talking about, and this is why people don't like these places. But you know, I knew that about AliExpress, and I had made a personal decision that I was never going to buy anything from AliExpress, and I haven't. But the jury was still out about Temu when I got an ad showing me this really cool bags that I own that were only like $3. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's a heck of a deal. And this is like what one of the bags looks like right here. And I really like it, and it holds so many things. But then, you know, the other day I saw where they have people who are listing stuff that are exact replicas of Stampin' Up stuff too. And so I probably won't purchase from them anymore. But that's just my opinion and what I'm going to do and how I think about it, and what your opinion is and what you're going to do and how you thinking about it is your business. Unless you're going to kill somebody or rob TVs out of stores, or traffic kids, then I'm going to say you're wrong, and I don't want to have anything to do with you, and I might even try to bully you a little bit, but there's that. Okay, so I think I'm going to wrap it up now. I've got a few pages that have been repurposed and are ready for me to be able to open up this book and say, oh, I will use this for my journal. So this is a journal for ephemera to use in other journals for ephemera, if that makes sense. Thanks for taking time to visit my channel and have a listen to what I have to say. Like I said, feel free to comment and respond to me whether you agree or don't agree. That's totally up to you. But I wish you a good day, and I hope that you'll join me for the next video. Thanks. Goodbye.